training partners. Here come your training partners. So smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners.
Team, welcome to Training Partners, where two fitness professionals bring you strong takes held loosely. I'm Weezy Shoemaker, and I said that whole thing without looking at any notes. And I'm joined, as always, by Justin McClintock. And today we will be doing a deep dive on digestion.
Oh, the alliteration. I love it.
Yeah, triple D's.
As it were.
As it were.
All right, you have my attention. I'm here.
That's it. That's all we're going to say.
How you doing, friend?
I'm good. I am 2 full days into solo parenting.
Yep.
And everyone has eaten. Everyone is where they're supposed to be. I think that all my clients haven't really even noticed a difference. So we're going to call that a win. Like, all limbs are intact. We're all rested and fed and our respective locations. So do I want to do it all the time? No.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
It's a lot of work, particularly because I am spoiled rotten by my partner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It would be much easier if I was partnered with somebody who's trash.
Yeah. If someone did no part of their fair share, or such a tiny amount that any additional thing was viewed as a great imposition, then this would be your normal life, and you would have kind of succumbed to the trauma, was what I was going to say. But
right. I know a lot of women for whom that's true.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
Where and certainly not to generalize, right? Like, women can be trash partners as well, but I know a lot of women who are married to men who wanted a family, but who didn't really want to be parents.
100%.
And it's just kind of interesting. Like, I suss out pretty quickly if I'm meeting a new relationship. Like, is this a person who's married to a partner, or does this person have just another child? And I'm really cautious to not bring up any of my struggles to that person, because it's just not, it's not going to land. And I know you relate to this as well, where I would like to speak kindly and upliftingly about my partner in any and all public spaces. And also, too, sometimes shit goes down, and it would be really helpful to just chat with somebody who you know is going to get it in a non-gossipy, not like, oh my God, can you believe what he did? But like, hey, I'm having a hard time navigating X. Can we chat about it? And in the least woe is me type way, there's not a lot of people I can do that with, because I know a lot of people whose partners are trash.
Yeah, 100%. And they may or may not realize it, which is also a challenging thing, right? If someone is genuinely, in their heart of hearts, happy with the way things are going, who am I to say that they're wrong?
Mm-hmm.
But I know I wouldn't be happy at all in the situation that you're describing as your life. So super good that we aren't switching.
Right. And making a mental note that, hey, when I have something to talk through, it's probably not going to be with you.
Yeah, you're not going to relate. Or even worse, me relating the things that I'm having a hard time with are so normal for you, or your normal life is so much less optimal than what I'm describing as a problem. You're going to look at me like I have 3 heads and say something like, well, you don't know how lucky you are. That's
right.
I wish I was dealing with that. What I'm actually dealing with is this.
Right.
And it's very hard for me to not say, oh, well, yeah, that's super bad. My thing is just kind of bad, but your thing is very, very bad and completely unreasonable. And then there's a long silence, and they're like,
oh,
I think this coffee date is over.
Right. I think this conversation has reached its natural.
So we'll do this again in 10 years? Great.
Right. Yeah. I'm looking forward to his return because that will mean I don't have to make breakfast.
Yeah, because that's a every morning Ted catches breakfast, right?
Yeah, that's an every
Not
morning
Ted prepares breakfast. He's not actually hunting and gathering.
No, but he is for all four of us. He makes eggs, toast, coffee, sometimes sausages, sometimes bagels, cinnamon rolls on the weekend, like every day. This is not a happy Mother's Day. We made you the shittiest eggs you've ever had. This is like, hey, I was on Reddit and figured out like a better way to prepare scrambled eggs. So let me know if you like it. And that's just like a Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. There are
Yeah.
definitely people right now seething with anger because that's your normal life. I remember I'm going to obfuscate slightly, but I lived near someone once. I had a neighbor and they saw Rebecca and I coming home from nothing in particular. We like had gone to lunch or something and we're walking down the street and we waved and her eyes got kind of wide and she froze. Everything okay? She said, man, I wish my husband held my hand. The pretty much everywhere we go, Rebecca and I are holding hands. That is like the default. If we're just walking along, we're holding hands.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes sense to not do that or it's a crowd or something, we don't, but like, the default is holding hands walking along. And it was just such a sad thing where it's like I had forgotten that it's a sweet, lovely, normal thing that we always do.
Yeah.
And this person was so jealous of something I maybe wasn't giving enough credence to or being grateful enough for, or something like that. But it was also like, what a horrifically sad thing to say. What
like,
else is
oh my
going on?
gosh, I'm now so sad for you. Do you
Yeah.
need a hug?
I'm very sad on your behalf. I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on you aren't talking about right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to call right carrier pigeon in how much you hate both of us and our wonderful partnerships, we are open to that feedback.
Yeah, totally. I'm down. You will not hurt my feelings.
Right. I've talked to many people who have reinforced like, hey, you know how lucky you are, right? Yeah, I know. I know that if I die young, there's going to be a line. I know that.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And vice versa.
Right. Well, I don't know. I'm a little, I have really high standards and I'm hard to deal with. So
yeah,
he's
that's
got
fair
the, not even going to negate
and
it.
I'm actually retract that statement.
So yeah, we're both doing pretty good, I think.
Yeah. Sweet. High five. Good podcast. Let's get out of here.
High five. That's it. No, we got some real like dense stuff to get into here. So, let's preface this as always with the caveat that not trained researchers, not a trained dietitian, and not your medical professional. Not any medical professional.
Not licensed in any way.
In any way. This is all information that you could readily find yourself on many websites. There will not be show notes today because I did so much research from many credible places, but most of it is from the NIH or from PubMed. And if there's something in particular that you listen to and that makes you want to dive a little further into it, please reach out to either Justin and he will direct you to me or to me directly and I'll send you some resources. Fair?
Yeah. Please reach out to me so I can tell you to talk to Weezy.
Well, it's important to mention that Justin is the person that manages all of the like uploading and anywhere that the podcast goes. If you comment on it and somebody comments back, it's not me.
Yeah.
So should you reach out on a public training partners forum,
This is fair.
And you don't hear back from anybody, that is entirely on Justin McClintock.
Also that. Yeah, quite accurate.
Yeah. So the purpose of this is to bring a little bit of clarity and hopefully some actionable next steps on what is actually the job of the digestive system. How does it work? And how can we get it to function a little more optimally without diving into what happens if I'm missing a kidney, or what happens if I have liver disease, or what happens if my esophageal sphincter is broken, right? Like,
Yeah.
we are talking about what is supposed to happen. And we talk about this concept of not majoring in the minors, which means not honing in on something that doesn't actually matter. We're going to be thinking about that a lot today, right?
Big
And
time.
not honing in on, well, what if my bile ducts are not firing optimally? No. Zoom out, my friend. What's more important?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think this is, gut health has been having a moment for the last certainly 5 to 8 years. And overwhelmingly, when people are talking quote unquote gut health, what we're talking about is digestion.
Yeah.
That's it. How do
Right.
these things move through you? What does your body do or not do with it? What is the end product? How does it get used for nutrition, etc.? So if you hear us talk about it, it's probably pretty important. If you're sitting there waiting to hear about how seed oils don't permeate this membrane, you're probably not going to. And that's because it's either nonsense or so unimportant that it is literally not worth spending a moment speaking about, much less worrying about.
Shit, I got to throw away my whole notes to do it live.
There
We're
goes
fucked.
Act 3. Thanks.
Thanks, Justin. No, we will not be talking about supplementation literally at all.
Yeah. Why bother?
Okay. So first, what is digestion? Digestion is the process of food moving from in to out with all of the utilization or lack thereof along the way.
Yep. Also,
Right.
something that I don't think people know enough about, that like there's degrees of digestion, and just because you put the food in your body doesn't mean you're using it optimally.
That's right. That's right. So there are lots of different parts of the digestive system. We won't get into like nitty gritty nuance of each of them, but it's important to understand that each part of the digestive system helps to either move food and liquid through your GI tract, which we'll define that in a second, a mover, breaking food and liquid into smaller parts, right? A breakdowner, or both.
Both
Once the
movers and
foods,
breakers.
right, both movers and breakers. Once foods are broken into small enough parts, your body can absorb and move the nutrients to where they're actually needed. So a lot of the utilization itself is not happening in the digestive system, but it's getting it to a point where it can be utilized, right? From a very high-end bird's eye view, your large intestine absorbs water and waste products of digestion become stool. Your nerves and hormones help control the digestive process. That feels very like, whoa. We went from really high level to like my large intestine. We're going to get there. Okay.
Yeah.
Who are the major players here? Who's our cast in
Yeah.
the digestive system? We've got the GI tract, which is a series of tube-shaped organs that are movers, right? They move the nutrients. This is your mouth, your esophagus, your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine, and your anus.
I once heard the argument someone presented, and it was one of those like, is a hot dog a sandwich kind of things. But the question was, does a straw have one hole or two? And some small discussion started, and a person said, well, hold on. I have a mouth and an asshole. Are you telling me those are the same hole? Because it's one tube. It's basically one tube all the way through. And
Right.
that broke me.
Yeah. I mean, technically, like, if we split you apart and like, it's a really big, weird straw.
One long, weird tube.
Other players, which this one we're going to talk about almost not at all, because I think this would be an example of majoring in the minors. Bacteria in your GI tract, which is your gut flora or your microbiome that assist with the process of digestion.
Yeah. Wildly overblown how much people spend time worrying about this. Is it a thing that you might need to eat some active cultures, have some yogurt? Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But you probably don't need thousands of dollars of tests or expensive supplements.
Right. I know my high level rule is that if I'm coming off of a period of stomach illness, whether it's north or south, I will spend some time intentionally seeking out like fermented foods, right?
Yep.
Kimchi,
Love
pickled
kimchi.
onions, kombucha, if you like it, right? And I basically don't think about it any other time.
Yeah, and that'll do it.
And that's me speaking for me, not me speaking for you.
Yeah, for sure. But we've already spent too much time on it. It's not that big a deal.
Okay, other players are the major organs along the way that are not tubes: stomach, pancreas, liver.
All not
Okay,
tubes.
that's right. All not tubes. So we're going to try to go at this from and I know you're going to hate this phrasing because you commented on it last week. We're going to try to go at this from a north to south aspect. And
Everyone knows what you're talking about. I think
right,
last week
yeah.
you were like, we know north isn't up, was only my point.
Yeah. For the purpose of this podcast, north is up. I don't care about your actual
North is up
orientation
and your head is
in the
north.
world.
Moving on.
That's right. That's right. And so I want to talk about the jobs of all of the players.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Starting at the top, your mouth is in charge chewing. That feels really simple. And it is not necessarily, because saliva adds digestive enzymes that start the process of breaking down, particularly the starches in your food, which can be harder to digest or impossible to digest later on.
Yeah, 100%. And an overlooked important part of the process is actually chewing your food.
Yeah, right. Because increased chewing may have a relationship with more saliva and therefore more enzymes and better digestion.
Yeah. And smaller pieces of food, so more surface area for stuff down the line to be able to work at. And if you
Right.
can break things down well here, everything will probably be easier.
Right. And then looking at this from, you're going to hate this, a cortisol aspect.
Okay.
There is some support for that various types of psychological and social stress activate the HPA system and induce significant increases in salivary cortisol levels, effectively making it worse at doing its job.
When you say
Right, so,
making
hey,
it worse.
The enzymes.
Okay, got it.
Right. So, hey, I'm stressed. I'm elevated psychologically, socially. I'm in an elevated position. I'm more on the flight side of the fight or flight. That's not true. I'm more on the fight or flight side and less on the rest and digest side.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And my body responds to that accordingly by limiting how effective digestion is.
Yeah, because you don't have we think evolutionary, we want to use that energy elsewhere. We're not going to burn a bunch of calories and energy and useful tools we can use for escaping and things like that on digestion. We don't need to bother right now. So making digestion worse on purpose because other things are a bigger priority, so your lizard brain thinks.
Right. The example that I like to give to folks when we're talking about breath work, which goes kind of hand in hand with this, when they ask, well, why would it be important that I need to nasal breathe and that I need to be in a calm state of mind? Like, why can't I just be elevated all the time? And the answer to that, super, super biologically, would be, hey, if you were alive a few thousand years ago and you were running from a predator who was trying to eat you and your family, it would be really inconvenient if you needed to stop to take a dump. So if we're in that elevated state of mind, other things slow down or shut off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like lizard brain status. Right?
Yeah. And I've also related to this, it's especially if people are having problems that we think are partly digestion related, I will ask people to not drink liquids while they eat their food, especially because busy, stressed people have a tendency, especially if they're multitasking, if they also have a phone on or a computer on, if they're doing 3 or 4 things at once, they will put food in their mouth, chew it 2 or 3 times, and then they're not thinking this through, but they take a big gulp of something basically to like wash it down so they don't have to finish the chewing process.
Right.
And I know they're not
Right.
doing it consciously, but if you can watch someone do it and they, put a big thing in their mouth, chew it a couple of times, take a big drink, swallow the whole thing down and go back for food, they're scarfing it like they're in a
Right.
huge rush. There's no time to eat. We have to escape. The saber-toothed tiger is right behind us. But
Right.
that is both obviously making the chewing process much worse, which is leading to worse digestion, but also not letting all of that saliva get in and do its work and letting the enzymes do their magic because you're just washing it down with water or seltzer or pumpkin spice latte or whatever's going on right now.
I feel attacked because I had a PSL this morning.
I don't know if I've ever had a pumpkin spice latte.
I've had 2 this week.
It's not I'm not a big dairy guy. Period. So I don't have, and it's not I'm not like really tracking calories right now, but like I'm always a little suspicious of liquid calories to start with. And the fact that if my body dealt great with whole milk, I would have whole milk on a pretty regular basis. I'm jealous of people who do well with dairy because it's such like an awesome protein, awesome calcium, super delicious source. But the fact that I know I'm going to have to deal with some fallout from it, and it's relatively calorically dense, and I'm just like, well, this is definitely not worth. This isn't my favorite thing, so I'm just not going to bother.
Right. I'm not super duper like a plain milk fan, but I have no negative side effects from it in other stuff, and I married into a milk family. Like
Midwest
Ted used
stock.
to, Ted used to drink in college 2 gallons of whole milk by himself.
Over what period of time?
A week.
Jesus Christ. I mean, growing up, we always had, and I think it was pushed, by government and lobbies and all that kind of stuff. But my parents, trying very hard to be good parents, spent money on milk. And with every meal, certainly at dinner time, everyone had, an 8-ounce glass of milk that we were expected to drink because it was healthy and good for us and stuff like that.
That was a great side quest.
Yes.
Okay, so the summary for mouth: more chewing under less stress shows a positive contribution to digestion down the chain and creates a better slurry of mashed down food, which is technically called a bolus. And I hate that word, so I'm never going to use it again.
A bolus is just a collection of stuff. That's just what a bolus is.
I'm like physically uncomfortable. We have to move on. The esophagus. So the esophagus is a mover. And the act of moving is called peristalsis, which is the movement of the nutrients themselves. And so the easiest way to describe the process of peristalsis is if the top of the mover is contracting and squeezing and the bottom of the mover is opening and relaxing, it just pushes the nutrients through.
It's basically how you squeeze toothpaste if you're not a monster.
Yeah.
Like
right.
You squeeze from the bottom, it moves through. It's a series of contractions that just moves things along slower than you think it does, but this is how it happens.
The esophageal sphincter, which is exactly what it sounds like, it's a sphincter at the bottom of the esophagus, relaxes to allow food to pass into your stomach, and the sphincter generally stays closed all other times to keep what's in the stomach from flowing back up.
So you're fine with sphincter, but you don't like bolus.
I don't even want to say it. Like the word, it feels like
you really don't.
gross.
Okay, we don't have to. I'm sorry. I'll try not to bring up bolus again. It comes up with some regularity in my household, speaking about how my partner spent her day. Stuff happens. So I don't.
No,
it has no effect on me. It's just purely descriptive.
No, I can't. I really don't like the word. It doesn't.
All right, back
it doesn't.
to sphincters.
Back to sphincters.
Somewhere you're much more comfortable.
Now I'm tired of all words. We need to move on from words.
All right, we got through the esophagus. We're heading into the stomach.
That's right. There is one like abnormality that I want to talk about because it came up in a dog that we were considering like rescuing and ended up meeting Betty instead. a condition called ME, or mega esophagus, is a condition where the esophagus is too large or perpetually dilated. And so this flow of nutrients requires immobilization and upright eating and like staying in that position for a period of time. Otherwise, the thing that should close, nope. And we just
Won't close.
won't close.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is possible for people too. And so if you're somebody who finds yourself kind of like perpetually vomiting, it might be worth it to talk to a doctor about ME.
Yes. I would hope you had gotten to the bottom of this already. But if you have symptoms like that and this is you feel the back of your head tingling, then it's worth spending a moment.
That's right. So moving on. The esophagus moves food into the stomach. After the food enters the stomach mixes the food and liquid with lots of digestive juices. And this true slurry of sustenance, which is called chyme, which is another word that I am absolutely grossed out by, is
Okay.
slowly emptied into the small intestine.
Yes. 100%.
Gross. You could see, if the food was not appropriately chewed, how each step after it would become harder.
Yeah. Harder and less effective. It's not in a lot of these steps, because they're just muscle contractions or kind of timed. Like, it's not timed, but it happens for a certain amount of time usually. Food will get moved along that simply isn't being digested. Like, it's
Right.
not small enough. There's not enough surface area for all of the juices and stuff to work on. So it just gets moved along.
Right. Moving on to what I believe is the powerhouse of the digestive process, and I'm willing for people to fight me on it.
So this is the
small
mitochondria
intestine.
of the digestive system, is what you're saying.
That's right. The small intestine is the mitochondria of the digestive system.
I love it.
The muscles of the small intestine mix food with digestive juices from the pancreas, the liver, and the small intestine and push the mixture forward for further digestion. So we get like a bunch of other players starting to insert their fluid. One of those juices, which is called bile, which is made by your liver, carries toxins and waste products out of your body. And I don't mean toxins like we need to eliminate the toxins in your diet. I mean like actual, like your body can't process this and it needs to get it out.
Yeah, which is also, and it's really good at it. Like, bile's
Yeah.
super cool, as long as you don't have some kind of liver disease or fatty liver or something like that. Then your liver is doing this, and you don't need a detox because your body
Right.
is constantly detoxing and really good at recognizing things that aren't good for it. For overwhelmingly, that's true.
Right. Bile is also the thing that can help you digest fats and your fat-soluble vitamins, which are A, D, E, and K. And when bile is not being used, it's stored in your gallbladder.
Yep.
It lives there. Your pancreas makes a digestive juice that has enzymes that break down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So the stuff that your body's going to utilize. The pancreas then delivers the digestive juice to the small intestine through small tubes called ducts, right? So like imagine you're in a car wash and instead of soap, it's bile.
Yeah.
That's
just
your small intestine.
raining down.
Just raining down bile. The walls of the small intestine are super cool because they absorb water and the digested nutrients into your bloodstream.
Yeah. As all this magic is happening, as soon as the nutrient is ready to go, it can get absorbed.
That's right. That's right. There's not like we'll just sit and stay here and wait. Like, no.
Yeah.
If we can use you, we're going to use you.
Yep. Away you go.
Right. The small intestine is one of our things that is both a mover and a doer. So it is also doing peristalsis and moving things along into the large intestine while also making use of a bunch of stuff.
Completely.
So if we consider the small intestine the mitochondria of the digestive system, the large intestine is our garbage man.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Waste products from the entire process, which could include undigested parts of food, older cells from the lining of the GI tract, fluid, maybe something unidentified that you may have eaten that's not digestible.
Yep.
You know, you do you.
It's basically what's left and
What's
anything
left?
it dragged along with itself through this process. So
That's right.
what comes through has been, to whatever degree your body was able, stripped of all the useful nutrients, toxic stuff was dealt with. The rest of it is unusable. Get it out of here.
Right. The large intestine absorbs water from this whatever is left
Mhm.
and changes the waste from liquid, right? It comes in still in like a real slurry condition and then turns it into stool. And then
Yep.
it also is somebody who is a mover and a doer. It continues peristalsis, which is again that process of just, hey, we gotta contract to get you to move downward.
Moving it along.
That's right. And then we reach almost our final resting place, which is the rectum, the lower end of your large intestine, stores stool until it pushes it out during a bowel movement.
Through one of your favorites, another sphincter.
Another sphincter. Thank goodness. Hopefully this one works as well. If you are immediately postpartum, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard. It's hard. I described the immediate postpartum as feeling like what if my butthole was a popcorn kernel that exploded?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've
It's
heard
like this is
similar
supposed to
descriptions.
be this is supposed to be on the inside and it's on the outside. I don't think
Mhm.
that's quite right. But if you're in that season, it will get better. And if you're not in that season or don't ever plan to be, now you have a really cool analogy for it.
So cool.
Is your innie and outie? Okay, moving on. What happens to the digested food?
Mhm.
The small intestine absorbs most nutrients. From there, your circulatory system, which is a bunch of movers, passes them on to other parts of your body to either use immediately or store.
Yep. Whizzed around your
There
body
are,
to where it thinks it should be.
right, where should this be? Where should this go? What can use it or what can hold it? There are some special cells, which we're not going to dive into because I honestly didn't feel like looking into it more, that can help absorb nutrients cross the intestinal lining and get directly into your bloodstream.
Yes. I don't remember, but yes, I know
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, it's true. Your blood then carries simple sugars, amino acid, vitamins, salts, etc., lots of other stuff to the liver. Your liver stores, processes, and delivers nutrients to the rest of the body when needed.
Mhm.
Another player, which we're going to spend very little time on, I just want to touch on it and then move on, is that the lymph system, which is a network of vessels that carry white blood cells and a fluid called lymph through your body to fight infection, absorbs some of the fatty acids and some of the vitamins.
Yes, that's true.
There's like, imagine anybody who's been to IKEA and has been to the cafeteria at IKEA where there's maybe like a conveyor belt of food. Imagine if there were dozens of those and they were all moving different things and going different directions, and maybe one's going through a doorway that's open, maybe one's going through a doorway that's closed. That's kind of what's happening in your body when it's digesting. Lots of stuff is happening at the same time in parallel, perpendicular, all different kinds of directions.
Yeah, it's kind of always going, and because depending on how much you eat and how often you eat and things like
Right.
that, and there's a lot of factors that will affect how quickly something is or isn't digested. Everything Weezy has said so far could be happening to you right now. You could have
Yeah.
food in your esophagus, food in your stomach, food in one or both intestines. Certainly, you're having nutrients distributed through your body, et cetera, et cetera.
Right now. That could be happening to you right now.
It's
Look
all
down and be
happening.
like, it's happening.
I kind of wish I had like gotten a Slim Goodbody costume or something like that for this episode, so I could be like pointing to various organs and all the all those kind of things.
So suffice it to say, what happens a lot, and your body is utilizing these sugars, amino acids, fatty acids, to build substances you need for energy, growth, and cell repair.
Yep.
And then it is getting rid of what it either does not need or could not digest.
Exactly.
Okay, are you ready? We need to take a deep breath here. What else might contribute to digestion? Hormones.
Absolutely.
Hormones. Cells lining the stomach and small intestine make and release hormones that basically just tell your body when to make digestive juices, when to send hunger and fullness cues. The hormone tells your body when to do what.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That's what most hormones do. That's their job.
Yeah, right. And so your pancreas makes hormones like insulin and glucagon that help control the levels of sugar in your bloodstream. When your blood sugar is too high, your pancreas makes insulin to bring it down. When your blood sugar is too low, your pancreas makes glucagon to increase it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So hyperglycemia means that you have high blood sugar when your body creates too much glucagon. And hypoglycemia is low blood sugar when your body creates too much insulin.
Exactly.
So I think it's important here to just mention how a GLP-1 might influence this process.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense here.
So for this purpose, I'm looking at a single agonist, not a dual here. I didn't want to get too in the weeds on this, but a GLP-1 triggers the release of insulin and the suppression of glucagon. The insulin that the GLP-1 triggers helps usher the glucose out of the bloodstream and into cells where it can then be used, right? The GLP-1 also acts on the stomach to delay emptying so you feel full for a longer time. But then that's also where some people get into the negative side effects that you hear about, particularly the nausea, because, hey, the food that normally would be emptying quicker is then sitting for longer. We have then more opportunity for it to come up.
Yeah, exactly. It's sitting there, it's cooking, more things are happening to it. You're not used to food sitting in your stomach for that long. So all of the signals are being sent saying, no, you don't have to empty just yet. Things are fine. That's different. Yeah. It's changing the way your body is used to working. And so sometimes, not everyone, but sometimes people will have, at least for a little while, some side effects that aren't very comfortable.
Totally. And if that's you, we would encourage you speak to the supervising professional that's administering your GLP to make sure you're on the right dose, the right cadence. See if there's any lifestyle things that you could do to support this. Like maybe, well, we'll get into that. We'll get there.
Do you want to talk about glucose monitors here too, or that be too derailing? I was just going to say, given what Weezy, I think, just very ably described, that you eat food, it goes through this process, and then depending on what's going on and what your levels are, your body will either release insulin or glucagon, managing up and down, because your glucose levels should be moving up and down during the day, moving up and down during the digestive process, moving up and down during activity, moving up and down, depending on how active you are. It's supposed to be happening. If you're healthy, you don't need glucose monitor. Stop it.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I thought it was going somewhere else.
That's what
I don't know why. I don't know why I would think it was going somewhere else. But other thing that can contribute to digestion. I mean, there's many, but the other big one is your nervous system.
Huge.
When you anticipate eating, your brain tells your salivary glands, which again is kind of like stop number one on starting to make use of the food we're about to eat. It tells those enzymes, hey, get to getting. We got some shit to do.
Yeah, it sees it coming. And for those of you listening, actually those of you watching too, as long as you're also listening, just hearing people say the word salivate causes people to salivate. Now check the inside of your mouth and I'm correct.
You're
because
not
your
wrong.
body's ready. Like it hits those signals and it's like, oh great, something's happening. I'm so excited. Let's get ready.
That's horrifying.
You're welcome.
Walking after a meal suppresses the glucose increase after the meal. And I would love it if this is a study you'd like to dig into. So glucose increases to a maximum at about 30 to 60 minutes after a meal.
Yeah.
And starting to walk before this peak can be a really effective way of bringing down the blood sugar peak. And so if you're somebody who is like, but I want to try to keep a stable blood sugar, I feel better when my blood sugar is stable. Great. To Justin's point, we probably don't need to spend a ton of money and create additional stress by getting something that measures your blood sugar, unless you have a very significant reason to do that, such as being type 1 or type 2 diabetic. I'm not speaking to you if that's you. It probably would be more resonant if you're concerned about this to just say, okay, we're finished eating. We're going to go for a 5-minute stroll.
Yeah, it literally helps your digestion. It will make most people feel better, especially if the meal has been a little bit heavy, super
Mm-hmm.
starchy, relatively high in fat, things like that, stopping
Mm-hmm.
kind of that significant sugar spike, which can lead to a lot of tiredness and or poor digestion and mood
Mm-hmm.
swings and other stuff. It can just kind of temper that a little bit with
Mm-hmm.
literally 5 minutes of walking.
Right. And this idea is especially important for folks who are at risk of type 2 diabetes, right? If you're listening to this and you're somebody who's on the borderline and wondering, what more could I be doing? Could I be doing some things better? Should I take something else? Yada, yada, yada. Hey, let's just add in a 5-minute walk to after your meals.
Yeah, it's a small, super effective, super actionable step you can probably put into practice at the next meal you have after hearing this and work
Mm-hmm.
on start making that a habit
Mm-hmm.
before you have to do something dramatic.
Right. And it doesn't even necessarily need to be walking. Don't come at me. Weather is terrible. I don't feel like doing that. It's dark at dinner time. Um, it could be, hey, I'm going to do a 10-minute cleanup of my house after dinner time. Or it
Yes,
could
just
be,
being active, whatever that
yeah,
might be, moving
right.
around a
It
little
could
bit.
be, it could be, okay, cool. We are going to play a little bit of chase around the house with the kiddos
Mhm.
rather than go straight to bath time. Right? It doesn't need to be, I've just finished eating. I need to go for my walk for my blood sugar. Just move your body.
Yeah, as long as you're like full body movement to whatever degree you're capable is better. This isn't the time to do like a yoga flow is going to be less effective than just
Right.
moving around your house a little bit.
Right. That's correct. But the thing that we like to do, because for me, I found it basically impossible after dinner time to like, okay, great. I'm going to go for a walk because there's
Mhm.
lots of pre-bedtime things that need to happen. No,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to be the one that gets dishes off the table and I'm going to go and put in a load of laundry and go up and down the stairs a couple of times and I'm going to go feed the dogs, yada, 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 right? I'm going to intentionally try to move my body after eating.
Yeah, all those
And
little
that's
mini
enough.
errands that are useful
Yeah,
to and also stuff that has to get done.
right. That might be a great time to go and get your mail.
Yeah. This is how I get almost all of my steps in. I set myself little errands and make myself walk to them.
Wow. That's like you're your own little Tamagotchi.
Yeah, well, yeah, I am actively trying to keep myself alive at this point in time. Things feel like they're going okay. I'm on the positive side of the dial. Yes.
Okay, so here's the question. How do I know if I am digesting optimally?
Huge question. I'm so excited for this.
You don't, but there are some
Mhm.
clues.
I
We
know
have
where we're
some
going.
clues. Yeah. So we probably are digesting optimally if you are slowing down before meals and allowing your saliva to catch up to your brain. Right? You probably are not digesting optimally if you are not thinking about your food before you're eating it. If you're not taking a moment to prepare yourself to eat, we probably are leaving some money on the table in terms of, I want to make optimal use of my nutrition. You chew your food slowly to allow for the formation of an optimal bolus.
There it
Ugh.
is.
Hate it. Hate it. You slow down enough to experience both hunger and fullness cues, and you are curious in the pursuit, right? Because a lot has to happen. I mean, you might have a torso that's somewhere between like 1.5 feet to 3 feet long. However, there's a lot more happening on the inside when we talk about all of the tracts that
Yeah.
there are. So
Just
it's
the
gonna
voyage you described, a significant amount of that has to happen before you're capable of noticing that you're getting full.
Right. And so if you are speed eating and hardly chewing your food and, hey, I've got 6 minutes to get this done, you are probably not digesting optimally. You are probably digesting optimally if you're hungry every 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. You experience wanting food, and then it does not happen again 45 minutes after you've eaten. And then everybody's favorite, you have a brown, normal smelling type 3 or type 4 stool on the Bristol stool chart,
That's what I was waiting for.
right? If it looks like a tube or a cracked tube, you're in a good spot. If it looks like pebbles or almost pebbles, that indicates that you're a little constipated and perhaps could benefit from some more fiber, some more fluids, and or some more movement.
And we're, of course, not talking to our bunny listeners. You guys are doing fine.
That's right. Bunnies,
Yeah.
you're doing great. Please keep it up.
Mhm.
Create more pebbles. Maybe not in my yard because Betty will eat you, but
Yeah.
you're doing great. Types 5 to 7, which is from soft serve ice cream to a really, really bad day, just like brown liquid with no perceivable substance in it.
I just wanted
That
to
could
check one more time. We don't like bolus, but we are
No.
fine. Okay, great.
the
Back to painting the inside of your toilet bowl.
I don't ever want to hear the word bolus again. Listen, if you're
I
listening
said
to
I
this,
wouldn't say it again. I was just,
if you're
Yep.
listening to this, I cannot
if you're still
overstate.
listening to this.
There are some people who are really bothered by the word moist. That's not
Yeah,
me, but
lots
I
of people have
am
different trigger words.
really, really bothered by the word bolus. So please, don't. And Ted Shoemaker, I know that you're going to hear this at some point. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, man.
Whisper it. Just whisper it. After she's already asleep. See what happens.
Types 5 to 7 could indicate illness, stress, digestive issues, another internal issue, which we recommend consulting qualified medical professional on if it persists for more than a couple of days.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like
you're sick. You know things aren't right.
Right. If you're just kind of baseline, like, oh wow, this is not normal, you don't need to necessarily run to the ER and say, I'm having diarrhea, please see me immediately. If it persists for more than a couple of days, it's probably worth a look.
Yeah, that's fair. Or very extreme. If you're getting actively dehydrated and things like that,
Right.
then first of all, rehydrate yourself, including
Right.
some electrolytes, and you might need to see someone.
Okay, so what can I do? Hopefully you've gleaned that by now because we've kind of like given you the whole book. You can slow the fuck down.
Intentional eating is a superpower.
It is. And not a lot of us are practicing it all the time, myself included.
Oh yeah, I am guilty.
Yeah. Slow down. Think about your food before you eat it. Chew your food before you swallow it. Go for some movement after meal times. And intentionally bake in time to eat. If you're somebody who works a stressful job and you often skip lunch, stop that. Quit it.
Yep.
Quit it. Right? Particularly if you're somebody who has body composition or growth or loss goals. We're all kind of not all. Many people that I've worked with are looking for, like, what's the routine I can be doing to make the changes that I need to make? And it's like, bestie, we don't need to worry about what the temperature in the room is if you're not even in it yet.
Exactly. And it's probably not a supplement stack. It's probably not a pre-workout. It's probably not a magical workout routine. It's not a cool piece of technology. If you and there's especially for those of you working stressful jobs, because I have been there and I'll be there again. If you do this, it will make you so much better at your job. It feels like you're not being productive if you stop for 20 minutes and eat a meal. But if you do it, and block the time. Okay, I'm going to eat in 10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to eat in 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to eat in 3 minutes. Oh, now I'm eating. And while you're doing it, you don't do anything else. And you think about how the food tastes, how it
Yeah.
smells. How do I feel now? No, I'm still
Yeah.
hungry. Okay, I'm going to have another bite of this food. I'm going to chew it. I'm going to see how it feels. I'm going to see how it tastes. Yes, I'm still hungry. And then there will reach a point where you're like, I'm not sure I'm still hungry. Great. I don't care what's left on your plate.
Yeah.
Probably. There's certainly
Right.
people on extremes, both ends, who need to eat food when they don't want to. And
Yeah.
that's very valid. But for lots of people, oh, I'm starting to get full. I think I might be done. Am I done?
Right.
Wait for 2 minutes. Yeah, I don't think I'm hungry anymore. Great. Pack it
Great.
up, clean it up, right back to work. You will be so much more productive, so much better. And the digestion that you are facilitating is going to make you better in a couple of hours also. It
Right.
literally will make you better and more productive at the thing you're trying to do.
One other thing that I want to say on this is that your body doesn't have the ability to manipulate you, but sometimes the messages that it sends or does not send are in a language you don't understand.
Oh, very well said.
Right. So, for example, if you're somebody who is chronically undereating, you might experience really ravenous sugar cravings somewhere between 1 and 3 p.m. and then again after dinner. Right. The solution to that is not, I just need to not have any sweets in the house at all ever.
Yeah.
Right. Like I just can't be tempted. I need to eliminate all temptation. The solution is probably I need to add maybe another meal in my day or some more actual substance to the meals that I'm eating.
And it's not
Right.
like for those of you listening, especially people who are like, well, I would never just like have a crazy sweet treat. It also doesn't mean have a weird thing with sugar alcohols that's dressed up and kind of in the shape of a sweet treat, but tastes worse and still isn't any good for you. We're talking about probably inserting more food in your life earlier than that crash happens so you don't feel it. So you don't have
Right.
to go for either the Sour Patch Kids or the non-diet Olestra stevia tastes much worse and are in the shape of Sour Patch Kids.
Right.
Neither one occurs to you because you're probably nourished. Also, I
Right.
love Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, I do as well. No shade.
Mhm.
I want to talk about why that might be true quick, in case there's somebody listening to that who's like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I crave sugar if I'm undernourished? Because your body's really fucking intelligent. That's why. And your body says, hey, I'm not getting what I want. I'm not getting what I would prefer to have as fuel. And so rather than craving what would actually allow me to do the shit that I want to do, I'm going to crave the thing that I can break down the fastest. Right? What can I make the quickest use of? And that is a simple sugar.
Yep, something
right?
I can
So,
use immediately. Basically,
right now.
it's almost injecting it into your bloodstream. We need to do very little to this to get it running through your body and use it for energy.
Right. And so to that end too, if I'm working with like let's say an endurance athlete and they need to be replenishing their stores quickly while they're on a long run or a long ride or in the middle of a high rocks, etc., we're probably not going to be like, what would be the most optimal starch for you to
Yeah.
digest? It's going to be like, hey, what's like something sweet that you enjoy?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe
That's
it's
what
Nerds
all that
gummy
runners do
clusters.
stuff is. It's
Right.
just it's barely
Oh my
held together
God.
sugar, so you can just squeeze it in your mouth. And there's some of them are terrible and some of them are okay. Some of them are just honey. That's a pretty popular
Right.
one. This
Yeah.
also comes up with people who are doing really long sessions. Like I used to have it a lot with pretty committed Olympic lifting athletes who spend a lot
Yeah.
of time resting. So their sessions, it's really normal to do an hour and a half to 2 hours for an Olympic lifting session. An hour in, these people are moving hard, working heavy. They're starting to gas. It would be totally normal to have literally like this is not sponsored. It should be. You should reach out to us. A 5-pound bag of Sour Patch Kids in the corner, and people would just go over and like have 3 or 5 Sour Patch Kids 45 minutes in. Yep. Oh, feeling pretty good now. It's just getting sugar in for energy to use as quickly as possible, but they're about to use that energy. They're not going to sit down at their desk.
That's right. That's almost the exact hack that I use when we're playing pickleball for a longer period of time, which we often do on Saturday or Sunday. I'll notice like maybe 3 games in, maybe more than that if they're shorter games, that I start to get a bit like, oh, I'm getting the warms and I'm angry. Something's got to happen. And we've got some gummy packs right there. Okay, great. Quick energy. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure. And even that, I don't want to go too far afield, but if you've listened to what we've said so far, you can see why I think it's kind of a short line to draw, why it's so much more optimal to try and get the majority of your energy from food you have to chew and digest and not liquid form, because
Right.
you're giving up all of this opportunity for nutrients and fiber and all of that stuff to
Right.
get some energy in your system as quickly as possible. And I'm really sorry, but most juices and smoothies fall into this category too. Not all of
Right.
them. If you're making smoothies at home, maybe. But if you're just, the juices are tasty, but not actually particularly nutritious.
Right. A protein shake is not a meal, friends.
No, not at all.
No. No. You need to slow down. You need to chew your food. You need to think about your food before you're eating it. And then it would be really helpful if you'd move your body after you eat. Right? We talk about this idea of majoring in the minors and majoring in the majors. Those are the majors, my friends. Think about your food. Chew your food. Leave enough space in your day and your life to actually eat food. And then move if you can.
Exactly. And of course, I do not want to fall down this rabbit hole, but the more you can have this be quote unquote whole foods, things which were grown or killed for the vast majority of your nutrition, the easier it will be to get all of the nutrients and everything you need out of it. One of the issues,
right.
depending on what level of lunatic you're talking to, not everyone's a lunatic, have with processed foods is that it tends to not have a lot of the things we need, but just have a bunch of things to help it taste good. So you have some and your body wants more. That's often what they refer to as hyperpalatable, things that taste
Right.
incredibly good and are designed to send signals to your brain saying, not only is this very good, but we definitely need more. But having more actually isn't full of very much nutrition. So you still end up lacking. And that's where you can get super hypercaloric and things like that.
Right. And also, to the point that we made earlier, hopefully that is driven home on how important chewing is. These things that are ultra processed and hyper palatable are engineered to make it easier to eat and less of a need to chew. And so if that's true, it's even potentially worse for the digestive process.
Yeah, it's like the TV shows that are being written so people can also look at their phones while they watch the TV show. Like,
Right.
people are designing foods for you to eat mindlessly and keep eating them eat as many as possible because their job is to sell you that food. Their job is not to make you healthy or feel good.
No, not at all.
That's
Not at
our
all.
job.
All right, my friends. That's what I've got on digestion.
That was very well done. That is the kind of thing that could easily turn into a 7-hour, 9-part, very boring thing. And I think that was I think that was under an hour. Like, it was a pretty solid speed run for digestion.
Well, I mean, listen, there's probably a million other like side quests
So
that
much
could
nuance.
be taken.
Yeah.
There's so much nuance. But we are not trying to major in the minors. We're trying to do the thing that's going to have the biggest bang for the buck and not talk about like, what if my body doesn't make this enzyme, or what if I have fatty liver, or what if I'm missing a kidney, right? Like, okay,
if people
that
do
for
have
you.
specific questions, yeah, exactly. If people do have
Right.
specific questions, like, reach out and ask. I'm not opposed to taking a side quest on something specific, or if you feel there's something we didn't dig into enough or you're confused, I would love to know that. But there's no point in spending 20 minutes talking about ghrelin and how and when we make it fire at the appropriate time. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it, because you don't need to know that much. But Weezy and I both know.
Right.
And we could easily spend an hour on ghrelin, but is that really worth people's time? I'm not so sure.
Here's the thing, is that so many of the people that I either work with or speak to get hung up on knowing, right?
Huge.
You
Yes.
don't need to know more. You know enough. What you need is more doing. You don't need more knowing. You don't need to understand what ghrelin is and why it's important and how you can optimize it, right?
These
You
are the
do
people who
need
are
to
waiting for their air squat to be perfect before they're allowed to squat a 5-pound dumbbell. And I'm on the
Right.
side going, 5? No, we're going to put a barbell on your back because you're stronger than that. And your air squat's just fine. And it's going to change when we put weight on you anyway. So why are we wasting our time here?
Corrective exercise specialists, we're looking at you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And PTs who say that anything associated with discomfort can only be handled by a physical therapist. And then they just put you in bands and let their assistant stretch you. Oh, great.
Right.
Great. That's what that person needed. Awesome.
Right. That's what they needed. Yeah. To be clear, we love our physical therapist compadres, and also not all of them.
I love all of my colleagues, and I occasionally get in fights with people who I don't think are doing a very good job. That's all right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Should we do a segment?
Let's do a segment. I'm excited about this. You're going to think that I reverse engineered this, and I didn't. I came up with the segment and then came up with the title. Title of this segment is You Should Smile More. Yes. So here's the concept. I'm going to give you something, a topic, a subject, a thing. I'm going to say something that I think you may have a lot to say about. And I want you to be exclusively positive about it for at least 20 seconds. So like, for example, if I say veganism's a super healthy diet, you have to be positive and supportive about that idea for at least 20 seconds.
This is fucking bullshit.
I am not going to play a clock in your ear, but I will run a timer.
20 seconds is a long time.
20 seconds is potentially a long time.
How many of these are there?
Only, I think, 35.
Oh my God. I know you're
10.
lying. Okay.
There's 10.
That's fine. 2 minutes from now, we'll be done.
All right. First one, low carb. It's great for weight loss. Go.
Low carb is certainly a way that you could eat in the pursuit of weight loss if you are ensuring that you are meeting an adequate number of calories elsewhere and you feel that your energy, digestion, and body composition change is moving in the right direction. I don't necessarily see why that would explicitly be the wrong choice.
There it is. Totally counts. Well over 20 seconds. Muscle confusion. Go.
Muscle confusion. If you are able to stay in a solid practice of moving your body, and the only way that you're able to do that is by constantly doing new things, I think it's possible that you're leaving some progress on the table. But if that is the only thing that allows you to stay...
Oh, you barely made it.
Haha.
I'm going to give you a half point on that one.
No, that was positive. It was positive. I was in the affirmative.
You veered before 20 seconds were up. Number 3, cleanses and detoxes. Go.
If you are prepping for a surgery or colonoscopy, a cleanse is an exceptional idea. Or if led by a qualified medical professional who is actually currently credentialed and holds a license, so long as you're supervised and know exactly why and for what you're doing that, I don't see why not.
Excellent. RFK Jr. Go.
RFK Jr. is an excellent case study on what happens when somebody never wears sunscreen and is really a figurehead for what it would look like to not care for yourself or care about the harm of other people.
I'm going to give you a full -1 for that. We're on the other side of it. Maybe I might only have 9 of these. That's okay. Red light therapy. Go.
red light therapy is a really cool way to get people to notice you on a video call and to ask you questions about where you are and what you're doing and why you're doing that. And so if you're somebody who would like more attention, red light therapy is a really good idea, particularly if you're on a video call. I strongly endorse it for that reason.
That's okay. I'll give it to you. CrossFit classes with 25 people in them.
Oh boy. A CrossFit class with 25 people in it is a really cool way to feel like you're at a rave and everybody is doing the same thing. And so if you're feeling like disconnected from your community, your environment, maybe even your own body, I might recommend going to a 25-person CrossFit class.
I like it. Full points.
Mm-hmm.
Light weights and high reps only.
Light weights and high reps only is a great way to get really good at counting to big numbers. And so if you are recovering from like a stroke and you've lost the ability to count high, it might feel like a really good idea to use, let's say, 2-pound weights and go to 60, because then you'll know that you have the ability to go to 60.
I think I'm going to go with -1/2.
Come on.
Doctors who say someone has, I quote, the spine of an 80-year-old.
You know, I really think that that is a compliment because there have been a lot of really active 80-year-olds in the press lately. And so I don't see that as a negative. I see that only as a, wow, this is incredible. That means I'm still going to be doing this when I'm 80 because that person is doing this when they're 80. And so this only bodes well for me. Thank you.
Beautiful. I actually like that. Peptides you can buy online.
You know, accessibility is really, really important. And there could be somebody who needs access to any number of peptides guided by a qualified medical professional who does not have consistent access to them, maybe because they live somewhere that does not have a quality pharmacy there that carries the peptides. Maybe they are more expensive in person. Maybe their insurance only works with somebody who provides online. And if the access to the thing that is guided by somebody quality is the only thing standing in your way of taking it, and we know that it would be to your benefit, then I see absolutely no problem with online peptides.
Full marks. Well done. Last subject in You Should Smile More, the commercial permitting system in Columbus, Ohio.
The commercial permitting system in Columbus, Ohio is, it is just dripping with opportunity to learn more about the nuances of government and riddled with just fun side quests on I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do that. And so if you're somebody who is looking for opportunities to learn more about your local government and also to understand why there are so many different people to do different jobs, I recommend the commercial permitting industry in Columbus, Ohio.
That was beautifully done. I believe you get a 6 out of 10, which is really not bad for a task like that. If you are updating the training partners Wikipedia, I think that's an official 6 out of 10, but you can double check me.
Wow. Should have been a politician.
It was pretty good.
Thank you.
It is I forget how it came to me, but the idea when someone says something that, because you and I run into this all the time, where someone will present like, oh, well, I'm doing this, or my doctor told me this, or I read this online, or kind of thing. And what you can't say is that's some fucking bullshit right there, especially if it's something that they maybe believe in, or for someone they trust told them. Like, there are good things. So it's a fun exercise of stepping back and be like, okay, hold on.
hang on.
there's some useful stuff here. And
Right.
then we can wrap it around to like why
Right.
this might not be optimal for this person
Right.
or maybe anyone at all. But yeah.
Right. If you hear either of us utter the question, and so why is that important to you? We might be curious. We might be holding back up. That's some fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Like, okay, before I tell you that you're wasting your time and this is a mistake and someone is taking advantage of you, explain it to me, because I've been wrong before and I'll be wrong again.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
That's why we call it strong opinions held loosely.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes there's great reasons, right? I had a client a couple of months ago, they're still a client, but told me they were starting karate and they had a couple of things going on that I thought it would be kind of definitely not an optimum thing to be doing for a number of reasons. Like there's several things that happen in karate that this person definitely should not be doing right now. Oh, because their kid is starting karate and asked if they would start with them. Like the kid looked up and said, "Mom, will you do karate with me?" And mom's heart melted and was like, "Well, I've never done this before, but I wanted to be more active anyway." Away we go. And yes, I might not be doing, these 5 things for a couple of months, but I'm excited to spend my time. I'm excited for the bonding.
Sure.
I'm excited to train some new motor patterns and learn some stuff. I'm not allowed to kick the heavy bag for 3 months and that's okay. What a great reason.
Right.
Of course you should do karate. I'm completely convinced. Wonderful.
Of course. Of course. Whereas the answer would be totally different if it was like, I drove by one and they look really cool, so I think I'd like to try.
Yeah. I heard grappling is the best cardio you can do, so I started BJJ. Like, you have medial epicondylitis and your shoulders don't work and your knee hurts when you bend it. What are you talking about?
Gosh, this is fun. But
I had a great time.
I disagree that 6 out of 10 is my score. I'd like to see the notes on that.
Yeah, I have very complete notes. They look
that.
like this. So, yeah. It's very, see, +2, +0.5, -1, +1, -0.5, +1,
I disagree
right.
with some of your scoring.
Oh, well, you should listen back to this episode in 5 or 6 weeks, and I think you'll see that I'm correct.
Hopefully by the time this airs, I will have completely navigated the permit process.
It seems like that's very likely at time of recording. I don't want to jinx anything,
seems like that's
but all
likely,
signs point to...
Yeah. It seems like that's likely for occupancy. I am not sure that will be true for the signage.
All right. But you need the occupancy before you can signage.
No, they're actually totally autonomous.
Got it.
For anybody who's curious and listening to this, I'm going to go into it. If you don't want to hear it, you could just end the episode now. We're just going to talk about permits for a minute. So you have to apply for an occupancy permit. And in the place where I am, I tried to find somebody who could help me with this. And the answer was like, you just do that yourself. What do you mean? And so I did.
So helpful.
And as it turns out, I filled out the wrong one to sign up for occupancy. And I filled out one that's actually much harder, and have gotten in touch with somebody who is handling my case. And it's like, oh yeah, you just need like a change in the occupancy. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's what I tried to do. I'm like, oh, well, you didn't. So, because we didn't do any major renovations, right? Like, yeah, we put up a ton of stuff and we laid flooring and we painted. Yep. For them, it's just basically a change of ownership, right? And so I'm at the point where I have actually paid for the permits, and am awaiting a link to schedule my walkthrough. Like that's it.
That's great.
All.
So this could, it's reasonable.
This could be like
to
a
think
week,
early
maybe.
next week. This could be very much in motion.
Maybe, yeah.
Yep.
Whereas on the signage front, I got several people. I filled out my permit for signage install, which included like, hey, here's a rendering, here's the building front, here's the spec that the sign person is going to build it by, which, by the way, the sign person basically went dark on me when I asked him to help with the permitting process. And so I assumed like, oh gosh, that's outside of his scope. So I'll just do this. That's fine. And then come to find out after I submitted it, my landlord and my realtor were both like, hey, that wasn't your job. I'm like, cool. Well, nobody told me. So,
I'm trying to get stuff done here.
right. I'm just like trying to open my business and have my actual name on the door. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So then the city replied to that with like this sizing is wrong and this color is not one of the approved colors for the plaza, and you have to get an architectural board to sign off on this first. And so the architectural board meets once a month, and so I'm going to have to resubmit. I also have to hire a new vendor because the old vendor like reached out to him and said, hey, like this is a key part of the process. Are you going to have capacity for this? And he said no. So like, okay, cool. So have to hire somebody else. Granted, I now know exactly what to ask. I know exactly what I'm looking for. And so it's going to be a lot easier to hire somebody because I like know what I'm looking
Because
at.
you've done it once, despite not having a
Right.
sign.
And also, I didn't pay him anything yet, right? Like he
Right.
had sent me over the quote, and I said, hey, before we do this, we need to even make sure this is a thing we're allowed to do.
But now you also know to ask the next guy, person, whomever it is, like,
Right.
hey, I don't have a permit for this. Is that something you can make happen? Or
Right.
is that something you can be involved with? Or
That's right.
at the very least, as someone who's hung more than one sign in this city,
Right.
can I have some tips and tricks here that
Right.
can make
Well,
us
and-
both like make it easy so I can pay you as quickly as possible?
That's right. And because I'm in Worthington, which is different from Columbus, it's different from Dublin, like they have a different chamber of commerce and a different permitting site. I'm now really interested in only working with somebody who works in Worthington because I
Yeah,
want to know
who's
that
dealt with
you
that.
understand how to navigate their permit process.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this was the thing I've never done commercial work like this, but in Philly, there were a couple of things we had done. Yeah, like I had to replace the air conditioner, and that because of the way Philly row houses are, that means closing the street and hiring a crane. And I was like, what's involved with that? And the contractor said, I'm licensed, bonded, and insured. I deal with all of that. There
Right.
will be a permit. There will be a street closure. A crane will show up. Everything will be insured and official, and the cops
Right.
will know about it, and it will be great. Fantastic, because that would have taken me months. And he was like, no,
Right.
I call
No, no,
three
no.
guys and just give them a date because I do this 5 times a week.
Right. Right. And that's on hiring a professional.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The same, just like anything else, right? Like the people who are good at it have done it so many times and see the ins and outs as obvious because they've got their, couple thousand reps in at least.
Yeah, totally. Totally. So the next step on the sign is first step is hiring a new person. So I have a few folks I need to call. That might happen today. That might happen early next week. And then we will have to get full specs submitted to the architectural board, which meets once a month. I don't know when that once a month meeting is. So
Yeah.
sometime. And
That's
then
important,
once we have that approval, then we can resubmit to the actual permit people in Worthington, and then the work can happen. So I'll be honestly like kind of shocked if we have signage before the end of the year. But I don't need
What
that
kind
to
of
open.
temporary stuff can you do until then? Like, sure, you can get like a wipe on thing on the door pretty easily,
Yeah.
right?
I can do like the door stickers. That's permitted.
Okay. Good.
So I am going to do that. But the signage, like, I don't know if it's called
Yeah, the
monument
big stuff.
signage or not, but the big thing that has the logo, will likely not be mine for a while, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. Is there a central sign for the plaza, or is it just every store has its own sign?
Just every store. The central
that's fair.
sign for the plaza only says the name of the plaza.
Yeah, that's fine. Because that's just another headache. And those never look great anyways.
No, and nobody looks at that to figure out where you are anyway.
No, not really.
So now you understand maybe a little bit about permits.
Yeah. And why it was such an excellent addition to that game.
Bullshit. It's been so not fun. Team, this has been Training Partners. I'm Weezy Shoemaker. That's Justin McClintock. We will see you next time.
Later, gang.
Here come your training partners, so smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners. We're ready to shine.